Welcome back to the Dittofi onboarding series. I've showed you what these icons do. I've shown you what these icons do. I've even shown you what those do. Now it's time for us to go and learn about what these icons do. When we are working with different components, they have different styles. This first icon that you see here is to style our components. I can style any of these components. Over here, I got layout styles, I got spacing styles, size, position, topography, background, borders, and effects. And when you expand any one of these, you can see that we have some display block, some flex display, and so on and so forth. Behind the scenes, for those of you that understand what web development is, this is all CSS. If you don't know what CSS is, watch the Web Developer Beginner series that I'm linking to this video. It's a series of videos that we've made for any beginner that has never done any web development to give you some context of what terminologies and what concepts web developers understand, and those concepts will help you be ready to build your app using no code. Now, for spacing, this is where we deal with margins. Margin being the space between a component with another one. So for instance, you can see that if I go into my navigator, you can see I have this container and that container. If you look at this container, there is no space between that container and this container. But you can see that this container already has 50 pixels space between that container and the one above it. If I want to shrink that, all I need to do is hold here and drag down, and you can see the numbers go down and you can see the numbers go up. Or you can just click on this, set the margin to say EMs, percentages, and so on and so forth. And we can change the size, the width, the height, the minimum width, and so on and so forth. You can change the position of this element. You can make it static. You could make it relative, absolute, fixed, sticky, and all these concepts. If you join one of our boot camps, we'll explain that in depth. Topography. This is where you set the font. You can set the font family, the weight, the size, and so on and so forth. By topography, you can set the background. For instance, this block right here, you can see that it has a background image. So you can set a background image of something. You can set the color. You can set the borders. You can set the border radiuses and whatnot. And on top of that, you can add effects of box shadowing, transforms, transitions, filters, and whatnot. And I wouldn't leave without showing you how you can even add classes. For those of you that are versed in CSS, you understand what a class is. And for those of you that don't know, if I set a specific class, I could then reuse it across multiple elements to share the same class, aka share the same styles. Those are the style settings. Next up, I want to talk about the element settings. First is look at this guy. This heading has some heading settings. The text, you can change it there. The type, there are multiple level headings from 1 to 6, that determining the size of the heading. So you can see I could change this and I can change it back to H1. And when you join one of our boot camps, we'll explain the differences and when you want to use one and so forth. You can even set the repeating width. And this is things that we go in when we start talking about how to use data that you're getting either from the back end or third-party services like an API and whatnot to be able to dynamically repeat an element or component with some data. You can even set custom classes. And down here, you can even set custom properties. For those of y'all that are familiar with React, these are your props. These are your styling props that you can set. And you set them using the regular JSX format. The last icon that I want to talk about is this guy. And if you remember from our previous videos, you've seen that icon over here. And those are the workflows. We create workflows, but ultimately we want to link workflows to some actions. So for instance, this button right here, when it's clicked, I want to grab the email and send it to our database. So if you look at the workflows on that button, when it gets clicked, I then call the check email existence workflow. And if you look in our workflows, you can see that there is a check email existence workflow. And what that does, when a component is clicked, it will call our backend, check if that email is one of the emails of the users that have submitted their emails. And if that's true, then we will tell the user that that email exists and will prompt them to enter another email. Otherwise, we will do something else. When you come back, we will then explore how this app was built. Until next time, I catch you.